Today I'm going to share with you how to achieve a top LSAT score as a splitter. For those who don't know me, my name is Steve Schwartz. I've been teaching the LSAT since 2005, and I personally increased my own LSAT score from a 152 to a 175. I got an email here from a student who writes, "Hey Steve, I had a rough start in college, ending up on academic probation due to personal issues. I turned things around later, but my GPA still wasn't great. I believe a 175 plus LSAT score can offset my GPA. I'm studying hard, but I'm still stuck at a 165. I also worry that my past affects my confidence. How can I push past this plateau and prove my potential with a top LSAT score?" So first off, kudos to you for turning things around. Law schools love to see an upward trend. Much better to have a lower GPA followed by a higher GPA than vice versa. And law schools, in almost every single case, will weigh your LSAT score more heavily than your undergraduate GPA. So yes, if you can get a top LSAT score, that can do a lot to offset your lower GPA. I'd love to help you get that 10 plus point increase. There are ways to push past the plateau, and we'll talk about all of that. In the meantime, though, I want to think about, how did you turn things around with your GPA? What were the study skills and changes that you made in college that led to that upward trend? The study skills you implemented in college may also apply to studying for the LSAT. Maybe it's about blocking off time, removing distractions, mitigating other responsibilities so you can focus on the task at hand and make the LSAT your number one priority, just as you may have made your college classes your number one priority after you turned things around. Now, when you're stuck at a plateau, it's really important to maintain your motivation because breakthroughs can come at any point. Progress isn't necessarily linear. So I want you to think about, what are the areas where you're doing well on the LSAT, and how can you apply insights from those areas to other areas on the LSAT? For example, there are students who struggle with strengthening questions but love weakened questions in logical reasoning, and the two are really two sides of the same coin. And so if you negate a weakener, it becomes a strengthener, and vice versa. Maybe you can leverage your strengths in the areas where you're currently struggling. You can drill your weak areas and then add on, of course, timed sections and full-length practice tests as test day approaches. Since you mentioned having a lower GPA before, you may want to write a brief addendum explaining some of the personal reasons for the lower GPA, addressing any concerns law schools may have about that, and letting them know you've learned the lessons from that time and whatever issues happened before are not going to happen again. And then, of course, focus on getting you that 10-point increase. A 165 is a great place to be. It's higher than many test takers are already, but what got you to a 165 won't get you to a 175. In all likelihood, it'll be less about drilling logical reasoning question types and a lot more about working on your pacing and endurance. Because when you're getting a 165, you're usually not getting questions wrong because of the question stem type. It could be a lot more about the method of reasoning in the stimulus, for example, or you could just be getting hard questions wrong because they're hard, and you've got to focus on the patterns in tempting wrong answers, the patterns in unappealing right answers, deepening your review process. At this point, it's usually not about taking a course or reading a textbook because you're past that foundational stage. At this point, if you're looking for additional support, it usually comes down to getting some private, personalized one-on-one coaching along with a structured day-by-day study plan. At LSAT Unplugged, we can help you with both of those. If you're interested in finding out more about working with me and my team, you can check out the links below. And one last thing I'll say here is that it's really important to maintain a positive growth mindset around your potential for improvement. Just like an earlier low GPA in college didn't mean you weren't able to improve, the same applies to the LSAT. I know 165 is lower than you want it to be, but you're similarly going to be able to improve your LSAT score as well. So I'd like to invite you to adopt the mindset that you are someone who is able to continuously improve, you're able to keep learning and keep improving, and you're able to leverage your past successes to achieve future successes. You can also set smaller incremental goals. So instead of thinking, I need to achieve a 10 plus LSAT score increase overnight, think about just getting one more question right each time you take a practice test, and take each question that you get wrong as an opportunity to learn something new. You're getting the questions wrong now so that you don't get them wrong on test day. And if you're only ever getting questions right, you're not giving yourself the chance to learn anything. So I'd rather that you do 10 difficult questions, get them all wrong, and have 10 opportunities to improve than to do 10 easy questions, get them all right, and have no questions at all about them. Focus on that review process, lay out a plan of attack, and again, reach out if I can help in any way. I'd be glad to support you on your LSAT journey. And in the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.